Good morning. This is Pastor Jeff. We're going to be doing our readings that are in church on Sunday for our daily lectionary reading. It is October 29th, 2023. We had two options this morning. We're leaning into the 22nd Sunday after Pentecost, proper 25, year A. We're going to be also doing the alternative readings. And so our first reading will be Leviticus chapter 19. Verses 1 and 2, and then 15 through 18. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to all the congregation of the people of Israel, and say to them, You shall be holy, for I, the Lord your God, am holy. You shall not render any unjust judgment. You shall not be partial to the poor, or defer to the great. With justice you shall judge your neighbor. You shall not go around as a slanderer among your people, and shall not profit by the blood of your neighbors. I am the Lord. You shall not hate in your heart any one of your kin. You shall reprove your neighbor, or you will incur guilt yourself. You shall not take vengeance or bear a grudge against any of your people, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord. Our psalm reading today comes from Psalm chapter 1. Happy are those who do not follow the advice of the wicked, or take the path that sinners tread, or sit in the seat of the scoffers. But their delight is in the law of the Lord, and on his law they meditate day and night. They are like trees planted by streams of water, which yield their fruit in the season, and their leaves do not wither. In all they do, they prosper. The wicked are not so, but are like chaff that the wind drives away. Therefore, the wicked will not stand in judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the religious. For the Lord watches over the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked will perish. Our second reading is 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 1 through 8. You yourself know, brothers and sisters, that our coming to you was not in vain. But though we have already suffered and been shamefully mistreated at Philippi, as you know, we had courage in our God to declare to you the gospel of God in spite of the great opposition. For our appeal does not spring from deceit or impure motives or trickery, but just as we have been approved by God to be entrusted with the message of the gospel, even so we speak, not to please mortals, but to please God, who treats our heart. As you know, and as our God is our witness, we never came with words of flattery or with a pretext for greed, nor did we seek praise from mortals, whether from you or from others. Though we might have made demands as apostles of Christ, but we were gentle among you, like a nurse tenderly caring for her own children. So deeply do we care for you that we are determined to share with you not only the gospel of God, but also of ourselves, because you have become very dear to us. Our gospel reading today is Gospel of Matthew, chapter 22, verses 34 through 46. When the Pharisees heard that he had silenced the Sadducees, they gathered together. And one of them, a lawyer, asked him a question to test him. Teacher, which commandment in the law is the greatest? He said to him, You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the greatest and first commandment. And a second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments hang all of the laws and the prophets. Now, while the Pharisees were gathered together, Jesus asked them this question: What do you think of the Messiah? Whose son is he? And they said to him, the son of David. And he said to them, How is it then that David, by the Spirit, calls him Lord, saying, The Lord said to my Lord, Sit at my right hand until I put your enemies under your feet. If David thus calls him the Lord, how can he be his son? No one was able to give him an answer, nor from that time or that day did anyone dare to ask him any more questions. Here ends our readings for the day.